My name is Madeline Cerusi, and I am a management intern within Access ASU on the School Partnerships team. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about higher education, and this is specifically information for juniors, but can be applicable to any age student. So the different topics that we will be covering is a little bit more information about Arizona State University, how you can be admitted into any of our state universities or out-of-state universities and what the requirements are, as well as looking more closely at your transcript and how you can make sure you're on track to graduate and attend the university of your choice. So let's cover a little bit of information about ASU. So up on this screen, you will see a lot of different options of topics that we have different degree programs in. When I say the word degree program, that means whatever it is that you have specifically decided to study. So instead of in high school, you taking English, math, science, social studies, you may have to take some of those preliminary classes at the beginning of your degree, but then eventually you will actually decide to focus in a specific area and you'll get your degree in that area. So if you wanted to become a nurse, for example, then you would do a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And that would be the same for any degree program, whether that's journalism, whether that's sustainability, being a teacher, so education, whatever it may be. The specific level of degree that you would be getting when you enter from high school straight into any university would be a bachelor's degree. An associate's degree you would get at a community college. A graduate degree would come after any sort of bachelor's or associate's degrees. So on this next screen, we're going to watch a quick video that shows a little bit more about ASU's campuses. Great, so that highlighted a bit of each of our 4 main campuses within Arizona State University, which consists of the West Campus, the Tempe campus, the downtown Phoenix campus, and the Polytechnic campus. Each one of these different campuses offers different things, and the way that you would split into a different campus or take your classes or live there would be based off of the degree program that you have chosen. So say, for example, you choose a nursing degree, you're going to be placed in the downtown Phoenix campus, whereas if you choose a liberal arts degree or something within language, then you'd be on the Tempe campus or the West campus. There's a lot of different options within, and some of them do overlap. So some of the degree programs do have a little bit of overlap between different campuses, but that is essentially how we decide where you study. Within that, there are a lot of options as far as taking classes within different campuses, and that's why we have a shuttle system of charter buses that will actually take you for free between any of the 4 campuses, and it's running every day of the week for you to be able to transfer to different campuses and take classes or go to a football game on any campus that you choose. Additionally, there are different student organizations on each campus, and so you would take that into account of, what clubs do you want to be in? If you want to be on a club that's in the Tempe campus, but you're studying in downtown, you can always take the shuttle over to the Tempe campus to take part in that. And so as you look into these different campus options, there's a lot of differentiation between if you want to live in a small campus or a big campus, if you're energized by a lot of people, or if you would prefer a more calm or introspective environment. So there's a lot of different options here. Let's talk about admissibility. How can you make sure that you are on track to graduate and to attend any of our in-state universities? So we're looking for three basic requirements: for you to graduate high school, for you to have the competency, which means that you have taken the courses or classes that are required of you, and then also that you meet one of the four aptitude requirements, which we'll talk about more here in a second. So when we're looking at what classes you need to take in high school to graduate, you can see they're a little bit different than what we're looking for students to be admitted into one of our three state universities. So some of the bigger differences would be the foreign language requirement. As you can see, to graduate high school, you don't need any years of a foreign language, but to attend any of our in-state universities, or if you have the goal of attending an out-of-state university, you're going to need at least 2 years of the same language. So that would be 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French, or 2 years of any of the other languages offered at your high school. An additional difference between the two, as you can see, is that to graduate high school, you do need PE and 6 elective credits, but in order to get into a state university, you don't need those credits. That's not to say you don't need to still get them, because we do require that you graduate high school, so you want to make sure you're focusing on that as well. So let's look at the aptitude requirements. In order to be admitted to the state universities, you just need to meet in one of these 4 boxes. So the first one is that unweighted GPA of a 3.0. And we'll talk more about GPA when we get to talking about transcripts. Class rank of top 25%. So that would mean if you have your entire class of 2023, 2022, whatever it may be, we're looking for students that have a GPA that's in the top 25% of their entire class. And then the ACT and the SAT, those are both standardized tests that you should be getting familiar with as junior students. And we're looking for students that score either a 22 or an 1120. So just one of the 4 boxes needs to be met in order to be admitted. Just a little bit more on community college options. We are looking and knowing that a lot of students are considering community college when deciding where to go to school, and sometimes it can be a better fit. In order to be accepted, you do need a high school diploma or your GED. While in community college, you have the option to earn what's called an associate's degree. There are certificate programs, and then there are also the option of taking the credits that you earn at that community college and transferring it to a university. So a common path for a lot of students would be to attend a community college, gain some credits there, and then transfer that over to ASU to complete their bachelor's degree at Arizona State University. And as far as evaluating your transcript, this will give us a little bit more information about how you can do that. So when we're talking about a transcript, it's essentially the same thing as a report card, but the word transcript is used once you get to high school and a university level. It's going to have your class rank, it's going to have all of your grades, any completed courses or IP, which means in progress courses. Your GPA will be on there, and then any tests that you have taken and received scores for, such as AZ Merit or ACT, SAT, that testing information will be listed as well. GPA and class rank. So let's talk a little bit more about GPA. The weighted GPA, which is not what universities look at for admission, is going to take grades from your AP classes, your dual enrollment, or your honors courses. All of those will be included. The unweighted GPA is just for those regular classes. And then the class rank is going to show your ranking, like I mentioned before. So when we're looking at the numbers for a weighted versus unweighted, the reason it's called weighted is because those, the amount that's given, the credits that are given to that letter grade are a little bit higher than the unweighted. So in order to calculate your GPA, essentially what we do is we assign each letter grade a number value. And when you have those number values at the end of a semester, when you get your final grades, what you can do is add up the number that's associated with each letter for the grades you earn and divide it by the number of classes that you're in. So if you're in honors or AP or dual enrollment classes, you can calculate both a weighted and an unweighted GPA, which we'll practice here in just a moment. Grade replacement, if you have taken grades that you find not acceptable or you would like to retake, there is the option to do that. It's going to be really important that you communicate with your counselors and teachers to make sure that's available at your school, to see what the requirements are to retake classes, because sometimes there is potential for those classes to be filled up, or maybe you're not trying to take it in the correct semester, so it's not available. So you just want to make sure that you are checking to make sure that is available to you if that's your plan. And it can help raise your GPA if that's your goal. So here's a quick activity. If you want to pause on the following screen, you could do so and complete the activity. So as we can see, here are, once again, our aptitude and competency requirements. And essentially what we want you to do is highlight all of the completed core classes, which would be any of the classes that ASU is looking for. That would mean English, science, social studies, as well as math. Those are going to be your core classes. And then you're going to use your transcript and calculate your core GPA. Essentially what you're going to do, as I mentioned, is look at what letter grades you have each semester and then divide that by the amount of classes that you've taken. As far as calculating your class rank, you're going to do similarly. Divide the number that you've been given by the total number of students and multiply it by 100. So in that way, you can find your GPA as well as your class rank. Keep in mind that those will actually be printed on your real transcript, and you can find your transcript by either going to your student portal, whatever that may be. Some districts use Student View, other ones have a different name, or you can always reach out to your counselor or teachers and ask how you can obtain that transcript. Just keep in mind, this is your future and you are in charge, and that is all that I have today. Please feel free to reach out, and I appreciate you following along and listening.